this version is not like the Disney version in the sense it's a lot darker and more twisted than the original Disney version.
Les moines, dans notre production de Blanche-Neige, il y en a 7. Donc, on est un petit peu relié aux nains dans l'histoire traditionnelle de Blanche-Neige. Et puis, mais c'est un petit peu différent dans notre version. J'ai l'impression qu'on n'est pas exactement humain. On est un petit peu des créatures qui vivent dans un mur. Et puis, chacun des moines, on a des personnalités un petit peu différentes. Puis on essaie de jouer ensemble. On est vraiment une communauté presque.
The dynamic between the Queen and Snow White is it's dark, it's a little bit twisted. The Queen is Snow White's stepmother, of course, and she hates her. And so you can see through the ballet this sort of hatred that the Queen has for Snow White, but Snow White is, you know, the fairest of them all. And so there's like this jealousy between them. And then through the ballet, as things escalate, things get a little more dark and twisted in their relationship as well.
I know for myself, like, I am younger, so trying to play on that like innocence and kind, I felt like that was a bit easier almost for me to do.
One of the things that I like about this version of Snow White is that it's very theatrical. All of the characters are very exaggerated. My personal favorite scene is the Queen's entrance in the court scene near the beginning of the ballet. She makes a really big entrance, and the solo that she does in the beginning there is really captivating and really engaging. And if I could choose anything to do in this whole ballet, it would be just that entrance and that scene, because it's so scary and exciting. And
I just really tried to create a backstory in my mind about my character. So when I make my first entrance, I already know why I'm entering the ball and what sort of my focus is and my determination. And so I really tried to think about, you know, why do I hate Snow White so much? Why am I acting this way before I even entered the stage, so that once I'm on stage, it's really clear what my intentions are.
I really liked the perspective that Angelin Predjocaz, the choreographer, took. It's not a Disney-esque version, but it's still a very powerful version of Snow White. It tells the story in its larger context.
This ballet is very intricate and very specific. It took a lot of work in rehearsal to get grounded and to, you know, do deeper movements lower in our plie. A lot of the movement is in bare feet or in heels for the women. And so just reflecting our movement into the story was really important. We worked a lot on intention, I think, especially in the apple scene between the two of us.
Creating like a storyline for each character, and you're reacting, but like why are you reacting, and going back to just like the thought of it and then the movement.
I think they will definitely take away the wall and people climbing up and down the wall, because that is such a stunning effect. They will remember the music because it's such powerful, mostly Mahler's music. It's beautiful music, and I know the orchestra here will play it magnificently.
The Queen is a very complex character because she's powerful and strong, but also sultry and seductive. So for me, that was really enjoyable to sort of add those two characteristics into my movement. I tried to approach it in a very artistic way, so not to be so literal with my movements. Of course, there are some moments where I had to be literal, but in the dancing portions, I think there's a way to sort of play that sultry character, but make it artistic and beautiful at the same time. So that was a really fun sort of dynamic for me to play with in my acting and my movement as well. A big takeaway is you're not too young to make a difference. And I think that's sort of the overall encompassing theme of Snow White. You know, she is so young and so innocent, but in the end, she wins, right? So I think that that's just important, that she is such a young character, but she is the heroine of the story. And so I think that that's a very important theme for people to take away.